Hello, welcome, gorgeous beings of light. This is Elmara coming to you with miracle number 95 in the 100 Miracles in 100 Days project. Who can believe we're here already? Let's start by taking your breath in through the nose and filling up your belly and your lungs with air and breathing out through the mouth. Let's do this several times. In through the nose, as deep as you can go, out through the mouth. Letting go of everything outside this moment. And today we're going to call forth your highest spiritual healing teachers, guides, and angels to be with you. And just imagine there's this golden light pouring down from above in through your being and forming a circle around you. Anything that's out of alignment with this highest being that you are is simply moved out of your being through your feet and into the core of Mother Earth, where it's transmuted back to source light. And I want you to keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth unless you begin to release, in which case it's in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And bring your awareness back into your breath if you drift away. Just a reminder, there's powerful source codes embedded in my voice that are designed to activate anything within you that is outside of your highest purpose or highest calling here on earth, outside your divine I am presence. So if you feel stuff coming up, just breathe through it. That's the great gift that you're getting here. And you might with this one. I've held off telling some of the stories about the cemetery, hoping that those of you that are still with me will see the power in it, not the scariness of it that we're all made to feel. So as some of you know, in my 30s, early 40s, I was a gatekeeper. I've mentioned that in previous miracles, but if you're landing here today, you won't know that. That means that I could open the heavens and take lost souls home. And it began when I moved to a tiny little cottage opposite the biggest cemetery in Brisbane. Back in my 30s sometime. I think it was kind of like 35 onwards. Just breathe for me, please. And I had begun hearing voices in the early morning. It's when my clairaudience wasn't as strong as it is now, and I just thought I was going crazy. Because I could hear all these people in my lounge room upon going to sleep and waking up, which is when your skills come in, because your conscious mind is going to sleep and you're dropping into alpha and theta, and that's why you can sometimes hear things clearly as you're going to sleep. It's also a really good reason why you should ask for what you want as you're going to sleep and see what shows up the next day. But today's story is about, and it was about the time when I used to walk around the cemetery. They used to all come to my house, and then it just got too noisy all the time. So I said that I would be at the cemetery on my days off on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I would meet in the center of the cemetery, and where there was a chair and almost like a bloody little house for somebody as a memorial to them who had died in the 1930s. But anyway. And I would walk around the cemetery and collect people. So this particular day, I'm walking around the cemetery and I come across an Italian grave whose name was Giuseppe, and it had in brackets Joe, and can't remember his surname now at all. He had a massive, massive marble cross that was easily as tall as me, 5 foot high, and about 3 foot wide, and it was about at least 1 foot thick, the cross on it, and it had sat above, like, so there was like a, like a slab of whatever, cement or whatever it is. Then there was like this great big spike that was about 1 foot high, and then there was this massive, massive cross. And if you know the Italians, and they love their big crosses and all of that sort of stuff. And so some kids had been in the cemetery the night before. I'd heard them hooning around. And they'd obviously tried to steal his cross because it was up off that spike and away from his grave, but not far away from his grave, like maybe 4 or 5 foot. And as I walked past, I just heard him like wolf whistle at me, typical Italian. And he goes, "Hey, love, can you give me a hand with my cross?" And I went over, and I couldn't even budge it. I couldn't even, like, I went to try and pick it up. But it weighed a ton because it was solid marble and blooming, as high as me. And I tried to, I couldn't even budge it. I couldn't even move it back towards his grave. It was so bloody heavy. So listen carefully to this, because this is what happens when you begin to work with the other side. All our human laws kind of melt. And I just kind of said, "Oh, Joe, I'm so sorry, darling. I can't even pick that up. I'm so sorry." As I went to move away, he said, hang on a minute. "Okay, darling." He goes, "Hang on a minute." And then he just goes, after about a minute, he goes, "Try now." And I swear to God, it was like picking up a stick. Picked it up. I had to lift it up about 1.5 feet because there was a slab underneath where the spike was. Lift it up 1.5 feet, this massive cross that was big as me, and then plonk the cross back down on the spiral. Just breathe for me, please. Now, I know that seems impossible. I could not have done it as a human self. But when I finished, it was like, there was like this, I didn't hear all the other people, but I certainly felt them after it happened. Because there was just like this, like, big roar of cheering. And then there was like, I could feel, like, how Italians kiss you on both sides of the face, like kiss, 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 kiss. And there was all these people just coming up and smacking me with kisses on each side of the face, and some of them giving me a hug and cheering me and carrying on. So it was just weird. I'm going to tell you, I learned so much about what's possible with the other side by just connecting into source and source light and spiritual essence. There was no way that I was able or would ever be able to lift that cross up. Even though I was much younger, much fitter, ran every day, all that sort of stuff, I still would never have been able to pick that up because I'm only 5 foot high and the bloody thing was as tall as me. And yet he must have got all of his buddies from the other side to do a big oomph of energy, and it was like picking up a stick and putting it back on top of his gravestone. Just breathe for me, please. Just breathe. And even if that's outside your scope of reality, which it very much might be, due to all of the training you have been given, like when you're dead, and that's it. This is the only life you have, and all that crap that they teach you to make you live in fear. And if you're bad, you're going to go to hell and all that sort of stuff. Just breathe for me, please. Just breathe. Let that integrate. What about if What about if you could connect into all of your ancestors and loved ones that have passed away and use their higher guidance to help you? Because even if they were buggers, like my dad was, they go back to spirit and they're a completely different being. And so they're not the person that you knew. Imagine how much healing could take place if people knew that their loved one was now a light being that you could connect into and ask them to help you with the stuff that you have still stuck in your being from your childhood. When you know better, you do better. Just breathe. But even if you don't want to connect with your loved ones, what I would like you to do is to open yourself up to the fact that we have limitations being physical. There is absolutely infinite power that exists in the other side. And that's why connecting into all of who you are and connecting in and waking up your divine I am presence, your God, Goddess self within, you will be able to accomplish things that normal men or small-minded people can't accomplish. Yep, you'll get ridiculed for it like I do. People think you're nuts or dismiss you and you never hear from them again. But there's others that are ready to hear this. There's others that have been doing the drudgery stuff and doing everything they've been told to do, and their life still isn't working. You have the opportunity, if you open your heart and your mind up to something new. You would not even be listening to this video if that wasn't the case. We are all so infinitely more powerful than we've been told. But people want you to stay small. Imagine if even 50% of the population woke up and remembered the magnificence of who they truly are and the power that exists within them. Imagine that. Just imagine what we could accomplish on Earth if that happened. Just breathe for me, please. You are so much more than you've been told. You are capable of so much more. And once you begin to connect into your higher power, your higher self, your highest God, Goddess within you, and your higher purpose for being here, your life just changes miraculously. And thank God there's more people on board with that. But you can imagine what my life was like 40 years ago when I started teaching this. I used to be called a space cadet. That's what I was actually called. And even for me, I remember clearly the first day I stopped that woman, or the day I stopped that woman dying of a massive heart attack, and it was documented as a miracle. I didn't go, ooh, I've just found my life's calling. No, it just scared the shit out of me after everything that I'd been told as a child. I didn't know what was happening. I spent 15 years doing hundreds of courses trying to figure out what the hell was the matter with me or what was going on inside of me. But it was still really, even just to do a massage course back then or aromatherapy course, things that are just standard these days, you were considered loopy, strange. I remember clearly, actually, the West Australian, we fought for 6 months to get the West Australian to put a page in there called natural therapies, because the owners or the CEO or whatever of the West Australian, the major paper in West Australia, was saying we're not going to have that shit in our pages. And yet now the West Australian has the biggest mind, body and spirit section in a newspaper anywhere in Australia. It's huge, mind, body, spirit, or mind, body, soul. I think it's called Mind, Body and Soul. Pull out in the Saturday's paper, the biggest paper of the year. So just breathe for me, please. But we copped crap for a whole 6 months before they'd finally put a one page in that was right up the back of the newspaper. So now it's a whole damn pull out. And it's thanks to people like myself that had the courage to face all of that small-mindedness, that the world is awakening in leaps and bounds. We just need more people to do that. So I hope that you're on board with that yourself. Just breathe fully, please. And if you'd like to know more, if you'd like to be able to activate more of, who you are, open up the fifth dimension within your being and live. Oh, I've got the hiccups and a little burp. I don't know what's going on. And live a richer, fuller life. And please consider doing our 10-week fifth dimension, or become a powerful fifth dimension spiritual activator and healer, which is coming up in April. Just breathe for me, please. So we're just going to connect. I'm going to teach you the first step of the fifth dimension. Just doing this step and not even doing my training. If you did it consistently, standing barefoot on Mother Earth, first thing in the morning if you can, or imagining you're standing barefoot on Mother Earth, it would make a huge difference in your life. So just breathe in, please. Bring your awareness into your hands and breathe out. Point your hands to the sun and tie the energy from your fingertips around the sun. Breathe in. Draw a big scoop of that energy from the sun down through your crown chakra. Breathe it out through your whole body and take the last 5% of that energy down into Earth. Breathe in and bring all that energy from Earth back up. Flood the Earth energy into your body as you breathe out. Take the last 5% up to the sun. Now, this seems like the simplest exercise in the world, but if you do it for 10 to 20 minutes, it will realign all of your meridian lines, and then you're in flow with the earth and the sun. And that's why people can just do this one step and have all sorts of wonderful abundance and things begin to come to them. Breathe in. Flood yourself with source light from the sun. Breathe out. Breathe in. Bring that source light back up. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Beautiful earth energy back up through your feet. Breathe out. Just continue doing that for 10 to 20 minutes. Alrighty. I'm just going to send you a little blast of fifth dimension energy. Which you can just breathe in and use this energy. Breathe it into a new job, new relationship, better relationship, like improve the existing relationship you've got, anything. More money, pay rise, etc., etc. Okay, you gorgeous beings of light, that's us done for another day. Sending you so much love, and I look forward to being with you tomorrow.